Hello everyone and welcome to another MechLord video. This time I am playing Gemini! MechLord, why did it take you so long to play Gemini? You don't even have the new cards. Well, it's because I just pulled my second copy of Ablation. And that's it. That's the only reason. Anyway, Gemini is a recent-ish archetype. Well, it's not really recent. The old Duel Links boomers amongst y'all will remember that Gemini was a top-tier meta contender all the way back in 2018. Mostly thanks to this card here, Gemini Spark, which is an insane card and was an insane card for the time, both in the TCG and in Duel Links. We're still playing this card, but in a much better shell, that is the Fire Warrior shell that gearfried somehow attached himself to. For some reason, gearfried is best friend with Gemini Monster, because he used to be a Gemini, but he grew out of it. Maybe changed his birth date, I don't know. So first and foremost, we have to talk about the skill Phoenix Rising, which does two things. The first is, well, the second rather. If you go second, if only your opponent controls a card, you get to double summon a Gemini Spark for free from outside of your deck to your hand. Which, not the greatest cards when you have to put them in your deck, but when you get them for free, it's actually pretty good. And the first and more consequential effect is that you can reveal a Gemini Monster or a Gemini Ablation in your hand, send a Phoenix Gear Blade from outside of your deck to the graveyard, and then play a Gemini Ablation from your hand or deck. And if you played it from your hand, you get to search for any Fire Warrior monster or Gemini monster, which is why you would want to play 3 Ablation. Like I said, the deck functions decently enough with 2, but 3 is really optimal, and if you want to build this deck seriously, you should be going for 3 Gemini Ablation. But what exactly is Gemini Ablation? Let's take a look. It is a continuous trap that you get to activate for free with the skill, so it's just gonna start the duel face-up on your field, keep that in mind, and which allows you to discard 1 card to activate one of these effects. Either you special summon a Gemini monster from your deck as an effect monster that gets its effect, or if you tribute a Gemini monster, you get to special any Fire Warrior monster from your hand or deck. And if you tributed a Gemini monster that was treated as an effect monster, you also get to non-target pop a card on the field. In short, this is a pretty good card that kickstarts your Gemini play. Most often, you'll want to summon Evocator Evec, which when Gemini summoned, which is to say when summoned as an effect monster per the Gemini requirement. It's such a boring sentence to have to say. Will revive a Fire Warrior or a Gemini monster in your graveyard. Blazewing Butterfly can tribute itself to revive a Gemini monster in your graveyard and treat it as an effect monster that gains its effect. So most often you're going to want to pitch this or this for the Gemini Ablation, and then one will revive the other, from which you can make a couple of rank 4 plays. We of course are playing Battling Boxer King Dempsey, which is an absolutely insane card that I love in Black Ink Boxers, and I love it here too, because it searches for pretty much any low-level Fire Warrior monster, including Infernable Knight Renault, which can be extension. We can search for Infernable Knight Roland, which can be extension. You'll notice that both of these guys are level 1, so we can go into Lyrilisk Assemble Nightingale, which is still a really problematic card that says you can't lose the duel this turn. And then we're also playing Infernable Arm Durandal, so we can search some more. Then we're playing the Immortal Phoenix Gearfried, which is just a big guy that you can summon by banishing the Phoenix Gearfried that gets sent to your graveyard for free. And when you banish the Gearblade for the Gearfried, you get the Gearblade added to your hand, so you can equip it to your Gearfried. And when you send the Gearblade to the graveyard for the Gearfried negate, you get to add it back. This card was basically made to work in tandem with Immortal Phoenix Gearfried very specifically. And then we're playing Gemini Spark, which sure we get a free one, but sometimes it's good to have. And we're also playing 2 Effect Veilers and White Princess for the hero matchup very specifically, because hero do be putting a lot of high level monsters that can kill you instantly. There's probably some ways to optimize it and to include the new Gemini stuff, including Gemini's Lord Gold Knight, which when it is Gemini summoned, searches a card that mentions a spell or trap that mentions Gemini monsters, which I've seen some people use to get Gemini counter, which is, it's not even an omni, it just negates spells. It doesn't seem all that great. I think you're better off searching for Gemini Spark very specifically. Are there any other good cards that you can search with this? Probably Supervise. That's not a bad card if you use the monster that it's equipped to as Link or Xyz material, or even Synchro material. you get to revive something, which is kind of neat. Actually, this new card alone might push this deck into tier territory. The issue with this deck at the moment is that we are in a 2-deck format, and every other deck has to be insanely good to even catch up to what the even more insanely good top decks of Hero and Salamangreat are doing. Gemini is a good deck, but it's not insanely good. It is seeing some play in tourneys, but it's not converting really well. Hopefully that changes when the ban list releases tomorrow. That's when the ban list is gonna release for sure. Don't take my word for it. So that's the deck. Let's see a couple of very funny replays against somehow even worse decks. This here replay will be against Sacred Beasts. I told you we'd be looking at bad decks. But still, Sacred Beast is like one of these decks that can catch you unaware if you're not prepared for it. But fortunately for me and unfortunately for my opponent, I am very prepared. So, going first, not optimal. You'd like to go second, but you don't get to choose in Duel Links. So I can't activate my skill to get some more free cards, which it's kind of a shame. Kind of a shame. That's a pretty decent turn. I'm going to activate my skill to reveal the Evocator Evec. Set the Gemini Ablation, send Evec in order to summon Blazewing Butterfly, tribute the Blazewing Butterfly in order to revive the Evec, which is going to revive the Butterfly as well, because this is a very fun deck. We're going to put 2 and 2, or rather 4 and 4 together, into none other than Battling Boxer King Dempsey in defense position, which is going to get us an Infernal Knight Renar. Then I'm going to banish the Phoenix Gearblade in order to summon Immortal Phoenix Gearfried. Gearblade is going to add itself back to my hand, and then I'm going to activate the Durantal to the Gearfried, pop it in order to get the Roland. Give the Gearblade to the Gearfried because this is his sword, and then King Dempsey is going to detach. Why do I detach with King Dempsey? So that I can summon Renar and get the Evocator Evec back into my hand, because I am in fact a genius at this game. I just thought about that. Thought really hard about not forgetting that. Not gonna normal summon the Roland. Put 1 and 1 together into Assemble Nightingale, my favorite card of all time, in defense position. So we're looking at a board that only has 1 real disruption, not the most optimal board out there. We'd still have the Effect Veiler. I wanted to go for the Assemble Nightingale because I know that otherwise I'm at risk of being OTK by my opponent, which is kind of annoying. I hate this deck. But otherwise we could have just ended on a Gemini summon, Gemini monster, which we could have tributed for the effect of Gemini Ablation to non-target pop any card. So that's worth considering. I'm confident that this is the optimal turn 1 end board for this. Very specific matchup. Detach the Assemble Nightingale. We detach the... is that Roland or Renar? That's Roland. We can detach the Roland so we can search in the end phase. They're gonna activate their very fair and balanced skill in order to... I mean, this part is fine. That's just a switcheroo. The part that just puts a big beater for free. I don't think it's fine. The Beckoning Beast is gonna get summoned. I'm just gonna Veil us out because I have trust issues, and they're going to activate Successor Soul, which is weird. Targeting Assemble Nightingale, which I don't understand. I think the Immortal Phoenix Gearfried would have been a better target, but then again, they're probably thinking, well, if I'm about to OTK, I better not tribute the 1 monster in attack position, and I don't know, maybe they missed the effect of the Assemble Nightingale? I don't know. So, they're going to get to summon Elemental Hero Neos, which is an incredibly funny thing to say about this deck. They're gonna get the Chaos Summoning Beast that they search off of the what's it called? Of the this? No, they added Reveal Lord of Shimmering Scrapper, so I guess they already had the Chaos Summoning Beast. They're going to tribute it in order to try and summon something. At this point, I'm going to Gearfried, Gearblade, singing itself, retrieving itself because it is a good card. They're going to banish the Chaos Summoning Beast in order to get a Fallen Paradise. Activate the Fallen Paradise. Activate the very fair and balanced part of the skill that just puts a huge beater on the board for free by shuffling the Neos that they summon with Successor Soul back. Note that the restriction on Successor Soul says that they can only attack with 1 monster, but that's not going to be a problem because they're only gonna have 1 monster. So, Reveal Lord of Phantasm has hit the field. It is a big monster. They're going to draw 2 cards. They're going to attack, discarding the Shimmering Trapper in order to boost this guy to 8,000 attack. And miss the part where I take no battle damage because of Assemble Nightingale. I'm just going to detach for the King Dempsey. It doesn't really matter. Roland is going to get me another Phoenix Gearfried to my hand, which I will not immediately summon. I'm going to pitch the equip in order to do the evac into Blazing Bellowing Fly guy play from earlier. Put them into a Castell. Castell, the Sky Blaster, a Musketeer, if you will. And then Gearfried is going to banish the Gearblade once again to summon itself. Hey, I get the Gearblade. Hey, that's super cool. Didn't mean to click on the white princess here. I'm going to normal summon the Evocator effect, which is going to trigger the Raviel effect, which I am going to negate with Gearfried destroying the Raviel. But I missed the part of text of Cerulean Skyfire that says if a monster, like one of the sacred beasts leaves the field, you take no damage this turn. Oops. That was their own Assemble Nightingale. I'm just going to put this into a Vesperado. I am going to attack with the Immortal Phoenix Gearfried, still, despite them not taking damage, so I can equip the Evocator effect to the Gearfried, so I still have a monster negate. And I'm going to activate Opening the Spirit Gates, pitching you, Bell, for the Dark Summoning Beast. No, that's the Dark Summoning Dark Cutting Beast into Dark Summoning Beast. I'm going to negate that, and I'm going to banish the Dark Summoning Beast in order to get one of these Sacred Beasts from deck to hand. And they're gonna concede. So that was a fun duel. They were playing some really weird cards, really on theme though, but probably not optimal in a Sacred Beast deck list. And this here replay will be against Invoked Shaddolls, which is a deck that you have to contend with apparently in 2025. It's fine. I don't really mind. It's manageable. It's okay. You know. This time I'm going to go second, which is good, because I mean I get to click the yellow button to get 2 cards for free. And I always love free stuff. I'm a huge fan of free stuff. If you have any free stuff you'd like to give to me, please go ahead. I'm not going to pay for it though, because that's free. I'm going to activate my skill deck to get Double Summon and Gemini Spark added to my hand. Activate the Double Summon before I do anything else. Then activate the other part of my skill, the one that puts an Ablation face up on my field. Ablation, Pitch, Phoenix, Blazewing Butterfly. Kind of looks like a Phoenix. It even works in a Phoenix way. I'm going to try and revive the Blazewing Butterfly. They're going to IDP in order to summon it, to deny me the summon. Then I'm going to be able to summon none other than Immortal Phoenix Gearfried once again with the Gear Blade that I'm going to equip to it. Because I am in fact good at the game. Set a Gemini Spark because I'm not in any concern whatsoever. And they're gonna attack, and then I'm gonna flip Shadow Dragon. I'm going to Veileur the Shadow Dragon. They're going to El Shadow Fusion both of these away in order, in order to then summon El Shadow Winder, which is going to return my Gearfried. Then I'm going to summon my Gearfried. Right, I'm going to tribute the Evocator effect with Gemini Ablation in order to summon the Immortal Phoenix Gearfried per Gemini Ablation's effect. And as this was, in fact, Gemini Summon, I get to pop their second copy of IGP. At this point, they realize they can't really do anything because they're kind of broken this deck. And I am going to just win because, look, I have an Immortal Phoenix Gearfried on the field, another in hand. And that's game. That's basically game. And that's the deck. Like I said before, the addition of Gemini's Lord Gold Knight probably pushes the ceiling of this deck further. I don't know if this is good enough to compete in the current metagame, but once the ban list drops tomorrow, once again, don't forget about that, it will probably be one of these decks to look out for. I am not going to dig for Gemini's Lord Gold Knight just yet. I'm saving my gems for a little deck called Spring Guns, which is probably not going to be great, but which I'll enjoy playing anyway. You can't stop me. But if I have any gems to spare, I'll probably give this a try. Try and pull for the third copy of Ablation. And who knows, maybe this is what Chemic Critters needed to be playable. Probably not. This deck is still going to be pee-pee-poo-poo bad, unfortunately. And that will be it for today's video. What do you think about this deck? Do you enjoy it? I know that some people do. I see gamers, if you're watching. Shoutouts to you. Sean Matry, I think, is also a fan of this deck. It is pretty cool. I just really enjoyed this deck. Hopefully it gets more competitive. But first we have to take care of a hero and some great problem. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, comment your thoughts on the deck, and subscribe so you don't miss further videos of me yapping about decks that aren't even that good. If you would like to support me further, feel free to check my Ko-fi in the video description, where you can make a one-time donation or a monthly pledge. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my Ko-fi donators Dingust, Oudish Boy 0, Zinnia, Jimmy, Yannick, Seal, Mark Lu, Fortunello 16, Orc Price, X Assist, and the Abyss Actor Guru. Thank you all for the support. I really appreciate this. Tomorrow is the ban list. Don't forget that. That'll be the video of tomorrow. And I have another video of me yapping incessantly for like 30 minutes that is currently in the works. So look forward to that. And in the meantime, take care everyone. I will see you all next time.